When it comes to WWE games, for years now we found ourselves begging and pleading with developers for new features, or in the case of 2K20, just to fix the game. However, those requests have always fell on deaf ears with little to no response. That is, until now, as following the recruitment of Patrick Gillmore as the new executive producer for WWE games. Patrick has come in and overnight he has single-handedly changed the way that the company works and become a focal point in which fans can get updates on the game rather than constantly wondering what was going on. One of the first things that Patrick did when he took charge was set up the WWE 2K feedback program, which is essentially the same thing that we've seen for the past few years, in which players can visit the 2K forums and post feedback and ideas that they have for the series, with the developers then going through the replies so they can get an overall idea of what the community wants. Unlike in past years though, in which 2K would hide the forum once that program ends and never reveal the results, this year that has changed and there's a lot more visibility with the results, as despite only being halfway through the program, Patrick took to Twitter to share this image of the most requested features, which gives a clear indication of what the community want to see in the next game. Top of that list, as you might have predicted, is GM mode, which is a feature that has been highly sought after by fans, especially since WWE reintroduced the brand split, as fans have been crying out for the ability to properly set up and manage their rosters, or at the very least, incorporate some of those features into universe mode. Second on the list, we have Create a Story, which is again another hugely requested feature and one that I personally think will be one of the best additions to the game, as the ability to not only create your own stories but be able to download other people's stories via community creations is something that would add a ton of replayability to the game, as it gives you a reason to keep coming back to it and have something new to play. Just behind Create a Story, we have the request to bring back the missing match types that were removed from the game when the series made the jump to next gen, with match types such as Special Guest Referee, Inferno, I Quit and Buried Alive, the majority of which are all still seen on TV, therefore players want the ability to play those match types in the game. At number 4 on the list, a lot of people have been requesting ongoing live updates so that if a superstar debuts a new gimmick, a Titantron, music, or maybe even a new hairstyle, 2K would then update the in-game models to reflect those changes, which is something that would help keep the game up to date and rectify the problem of having outdated superstars and arenas. At number 5, we have the request for an all-new universe mode, which would see the addition of various new features to freshen up the mode, with incorporating GM mode elements like I mentioned earlier being a large part of that, such as the ability to assign a GM or holding a draft. Closing out the most requested of the results, custom music is also high up on the list at number 6, as this is something that was originally in the series on last gen before it was also removed in 2K15. According to past updates from 2K, this one wasn't previously possible due to copyright policies in place from Sony and Microsoft. However, in recent years, we have seen the ability to import custom music added to games like MLB The Show and more recently Dreams. Therefore, if those games are able to do it, then this may well be something that we see added to WWE 2K in the future. Now, I'm not going to go through all the requests individually, as there's a lot of different things on there, but it's well worth taking the time to browse the list and see which of the features appeal to you. However, one thing that I do want to point out is the lack of requests for the originals content, as the only mention of 2K originals was no 2K originals, which kind of shows how badly this year's DLC was received and is a good indication that we won't be seeing it return next time. Meanwhile, on the other hand, going back to GM mode, due to the fact that GM mode is not only top of the list, but so far ahead of everything else in regards to requests, then I would pretty much say that this confirms that the next WWE 2K game will include the return of GM mode, as the whole reason behind the feedback program was to find out what the community wanted, and by sharing the results publicly, if GM mode doesn't return in 2K22, then it renders this program completely useless. So looking to the future, I am really hopeful for the series going forward, especially with the new direction and the transparency that Patrick has brought to the series. Plus, he actually reached out to me a couple of weeks ago and we spoke on a video call for a good 40 minutes, just going over ideas and feedback, as well as how different things could work if they were to be implemented into the next game. So from speaking to him directly, that's the main reason that I have hope for the series going forward, as he clearly wants to get the community involved and give them what they want. So on that note, if there is anything that you want to see added to the next 2K game, now is the time to share it. So please do go to the 2K forums using the link in the description and make sure to post your feedback and ideas, as this will directly impact what the developers focus on in the next WWE 2K game. Anyway guys, that brings us to the end of this video. I'll leave a link to Patrick's tweet in the description so you can check out the most requested features, but thank you for watching, have yourself an awesome day, and I'll catch you later.